Hello. How are you on this, what is a rainy Saturday in Boston, Massachusetts? I hope it's not rainy where you are. Uh, just saying, hey, what's up? A midnight snack. Because I have some time to kill and did some things this week to be grateful for. So I hope you also did some things this week and have things to be grateful for. Where to start? All right. To start with something I was pretty happy about. I had one show last night that ended up getting canceled, and I found another show which was convenient because I made cupcakes for the original show. I'm a cupcake guy now. I love making cupcakes. For whatever reason, I've decided that this is how I will put my penance into the world for a past misdeed with buttercream frosting. We will get to there, but so I brought the cupcakes to the show, and one of the things that happens in comedy, host comes up. I think I've said it before. Host comes up and says, "Hey, how do you want to be brought up?" And I decided for a Friday bar show that was a little rowdy. I said, "Oh, just take a bite of the cupcake that you were going to eat while bringing me up. Just do that. Say he made this cupcake. I'm going to do a blind review of it right now." And that was very fun. And then I had some extra cupcakes, so I, jokingly said, "Hey, I have 2 extra cupcakes, so pay attention and laugh loud." And it was awesome. I was kind of hoping someone would come up to me afterwards, and multiple people did. So shout out to them. They said that they were going to check out the pod. Funny enough, Megan, that was the person's name. That was my sister's name. When she said that, I was like, no way, that's crazy. I believe another one. I got a kind message as well. Sybil, I believe, was the name. If I hopefully I am saying that correctly. I'm sorry. And Tashika, that was another. 3 people all came up, all women, of course, because a dude walking up to another dude being like, "Yo, can I have one of your cupcakes?" I don't think that would ever happen, even though it should. But yeah, so first interaction, cool new friend Megan comes up and was like, "Hey, can I have a cupcake?" And I got golden retriever energy and was like, "Oh my god, yes, for real, you want one? Absolutely, you can have one." and she went, "Oh, wait, is this legit? For real?" And I said, "Yeah, of course, you could totally have one." And then she went, "They're not poisoned or anything?" Which is a completely fair question. And I kind of circled my finger around all the other comics who were hanging out and said, "They've all had one tonight. No one has dropped dead. They're not poison." And another comic buddy was like, "I had one before. They're so delicious." So she grabs one. Then again, new friend Sybil, as they were walking out, I offered them a cupcake because they said nice set. And I went, "Oh no, you can't compliment me and leave without a cupcake." And they said, "Oh, my fiance is vegan and my body is now rejected dairy." And I was like, "That is tragic. I'm so sorry to hear that. You're a good person, but tragic thing that your body did." And Tashika, an incredible reaction here. She comes up, says, "Can I have a cupcake?" And I said, "Absolutely." And she's holding it, just kind of staring at it, and then says, "I need to go to the bathroom though." And I held out the tin that I had the cupcakes in and said, "Oh, I'll just put it back. That's totally fine. I'll hold it for you." And Tashika goes to place it in the tin and then takes it back and just licks it. She just licks some of the frosting and then puts it in the tin and goes, "In case you change your mind," and then just walked away to the bathroom. I was crying. I was like, "God, that would be so mean to just do a take back and be like, oh, sorry, somebody. I would have totally just said, if somebody else had come up and said, hey, they've all been claimed, but give me a follow, come to another show. I think I'm just going to go full Miss Maisel and start bringing baked goods to shows to hand out because it's fun and I like doing it. It's very silly. It's very weird. Who cares? Don't you want your comedians to be a little weird and a little silly? And also then when you eat the baked good, you're like, holy crap, this is incredible. It's a nice little twist. So that was cool. Thank you guys for coming up after and saying nice things about the set and about the cupcake. That was very cool. I took some of my past advice as well, and as I've always said, reach out to an old friend, say what's up. And there's always been one friend in mind that when I talk about them, I'm like, God, I gotta just send that message. And you know, I've with the birthday just happening, I've been thinking 29, and you know, saw one of those social media prompts or whatever that, you know, is like, post a photo of a 10-year friendship, bet you can't, and started thinking, I have multiple 10-year friendship plus 10 plus. I got a 20-year friendship. I got 15-year friendships. 10 is, I hit 10 with some people a while ago, and it's just something to be really grateful for, that even after, 2 weeks ago at this point, 3 weeks was my birthday, and I'm still getting messages rolling in, people in person saying, hey, how was just your birthday? Happy birthday. How was it? And it's just, I'm really thankful for that. And, it makes you take stock though in the people that have been there for a while. And like I said, I could rattle off 5 names right now that the friendships, if you total the length of time, that adds up to an AARP card, it's a group of guys that the length of friendship, if you, like I said, add it all, the friendship's on Social Security at this point. We're getting benefits. And I'm super grateful for, that handful of people. And at the same time, it does make you think back to some names as well, where you think, oh man, what did go wrong? What happened? And that's why, I've always preached, just say, hey, what's up to an old friend. And I finally said, hey, what's up to somebody that, when your kids, it's like your best friend. It was that person. And, for whatever reason, of course, as we've been chatting, he made a good point. He said it was something sad. We just drifted because life happened, and life shouldn't happen to 2 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds who have been inseparable since they were, 6 or something. That's just an unfortunate thing that does happen sometimes, and it's a shame, but hopefully if you do reach out and say, hey, what's up, that loop comes back around, so to speak. Some people come in and out, some people stay forever, some people come and then go, and it's all important. And if you do have gratitude for somebody, express it. And like I said in that message, and I'll say here now, because he's actually, in one of his responses, he's like, hey, funny enough, I actually love following dinner at your place. And I've gotten that a couple times, which is very, of course, flattering. I'm super thankful for it. The phrasing of it is very funny. The actually I follow and enjoy What they mean is like, hey, funny coincidence. I actually, I just did it there. Funny coincidence. I listened to the podcast. But it also does come off, when you're just reading it in text, it sounds as, hey, this is actually good. Hey, I had no idea. I just did this on a whim. And funny enough, this is actually pretty enjoyable. I've gotten that a couple times. And it just always makes me smile a little bit to myself. But like I said, if you as I was getting into it, if you have somebody that in the past you're grateful for, and you want to say hey, and there's a wall for whatever reason, try and break the wall down as soon as possible, because swapping some messages back and forth. Green grapes, what's up, brother? How you doing? Kyle, I really am happy that we've been swapping some text back and forth, man. I'm really glad to hear that you're doing well. So the cupcakes have been I love just making new foods, and I've never been a baker. My sister is the baker. She's an absolutely phenomenal baker. And I'm not crazy about baking, because it's a science. It comes down to why I love cooking is you can just throw shit in it, taste as you go. Oh, it needs more of that. It needs some more of this. It's a process that you're a part of the entire time. Baking, you do everything beforehand, you put it in the oven, and then you just hope. You just pray that it goes well. And you can't fix it halfway through if it comes, sure, you can lick the batter, you can try that. But once it's in that oven, it's in the baking god's hands. And I don't know why. I love fall, and I think I'm not even a big pumpkin flavor fan. I'm not even a big cupcake fan. I'm not a big sweets guy. This is truly what it comes down to, is just I love cooking and sharing it with people. And if I was watching Shawshank, if you've seen that movie, Shawshank Redemption, there's a part where some of the inmates are tarring the roof of the prison, and some of the guards are talking about an influx of money that the IRS is going to tax them, and Andy Dufresne, one of the main characters, is a lawyer, so he just kind of stops tarring and wanders over to this conversation, and through some poor prison guard work, Andy is found hanging over the roof of the penitentiary. But he says that there's no reason he can't keep all of the $35,000 as long as he gives it to his wife. You get a tax-free one-time gift, blah, blah, blah. Now, he says, I can prepare those forms for you nearly free of charge. All I ask is for 3 beers for each of my coworkers. A man working outdoors feels more like a man if he can have a bottle of suds. And the next scene, Andy gets, pulled back from a near certain death of falling off the roof of a prison. Falling, in quotes, he was going to be pushed. And the next scene is all the inmates with a Morgan Freeman voiceover talking about how on the second to last day they were sitting on the roof drinking ice cold Bohemia style beers, finally feeling like a free man. But Andy was just over in the corner, sitting in the shade with a strange little smile on his face. And one of the inmates gets up and says, "Hey, Andy, want a cold one?" And Andy says, "No, thanks. I gave up drinking." And Morgan Freeman then comes and, voiceover again and says you could argue he did it to, garner favor with the guards, or he could have just done it to make some friends amongst the cons. Me, I think he did it just to feel normal again, if only for a little while. And I don't know, it's silly, but that's sort of how I feel about sharing food, and especially something that I don't like to eat. I don't care about putting in the work to make cupcakes or something, and as long as people are happy, they think it's good, and then they get a smile, that's good enough for me. And I have an interesting relationship to buttercream frosting, where I'd never had it until 15 years ago when I was a sophomore in high school, where there was a girl a grade below me who is in one of my classes, and I knew she liked me more than just as a friend, but when you're young, that feels good. It feels good to be looked at in that sense. So, you're the cooler older guy, and I don't really know if that's ever been something I felt. So, I remember it was somebody's birthday in the class, and another person had brought them cupcakes, and it was this whole thing, and just being silly and dramatic and trying to get a laugh out of the group of people I sat with. I was like, well, I want cupcakes too. And the next day, this girl brought me 6 buttercream frosting vanilla cupcakes and said, "I made these for you." And for a second I was like, "Wait, what? Why? Oh my God, that's right. I said I wanted cupcakes and I asked you to make them for me." That's right, I did. I was like, "Make me cupcake." Oh, I should probably bleep that one. That's right. And I remember she handed them. I was like, oh, Jesus, I am so sorry. I was joking. This is incredible. Thank you so much. And I had a bite, and it tasted so good. I still remember that. It's why I wanted to make them, partially at least. It's why I wanted to make them when the season changed. I love fall, and my brain went pumpkin cupcake with salted caramel buttercream frosting. That sounds lovely. Because I still remember how good, even as somebody who doesn't like sweets, I still remember how good that cupcake was nearly 15 years ago. And I probably didn't express enough thanks then, as going around just saying like, "Look at this, I had somebody make me cupcakes." I think someone was like, "I will buy one of them for you for $10." I was like, "Of course you can." And I think I just kept the $10 and bought lunch that day instead of giving it to this person and saying, "Here you go. You deserve this." And I still feel really bad too, because that person ended up wanting to share a special moment with me that you only get to share with one person, and I took that moment for granted just as the quote unquote older guy and as someone who had already experienced that moment with another person. My mom listens, so I'm trying to do this as artfully and PG as possible. And I still feel guilty, though, because, like I said, in the moments after that, rather than talking to them and saying, hey, I hope, how are you feeling about this decision? Are you comfortable with everything that just happened? What's going on in your brain? My teenage decision was to say, all right, I'm going to go make some pizza bagels. Which, don't do that. So, like I said, as I've grown and thought more about that, I really wish that I could, somehow get to this person and just say, I am so sorry for that being your first time with someone who just took it for granted. That's not right. So I think something important from this one is if you are a young man listening to this, even just in general, however old you are, first off, don't get up from bed and say, all right, I'm going to go make pizza bagels. That's not the move. But I think if you are, a young man, I think some of my cousins have found this. I think the best thing that I could say to you is if you are in that situation is do not take it for granted. This is a moment that you're sharing with somebody else and it's going to be remembered. It's special. So treat that person with respect. And treat them right. All right. A couple more shows coming up. A lot, always. Follow me on any of the socials and you'll see about them. I'm going to try and get this out quickly. What is it? It's almost 3 on a Saturday. Hopefully this is out shortly. Because again, Monday, we got ourselves a regular interview. It's a fun one. It's not a comedian. Someone I haven't seen in a while, a good friend. How to close. Just enjoy your weekend. And we'll chat shortly. Go make some cupcakes. Give it a shot. It's pretty fun and easy. And people will love it. All right. Goodbye.